Here's a number most e-commerce brands never look at. The difference in lifetime value between a customer who buys once and a customer who buys twice. For most brands, that gap is massive. A one-time buyer might be worth $50, a two-time buyer $180, a three-time buyer $350 or more. And yet most brands pour 90% of their budget into acquiring new customers while doing almost nothing to get existing ones to come back. Over the past few years, we've generated over $50 million in e-revenue for hundreds of e-commerce brands. And the biggest unlock I've seen across every niche, every price point, every product type is shifting focus from acquisition to lifetime value. Because here's what nobody tells you. The brands that win long-term are not the brands that are spending the most amount of money on paid ads. They're the ones extracting the most value from the customer they've just acquired. And email is one of the biggest tools to make that happen. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 ways email marketing directly increases your customer lifetime value with the exact strategies and flows you can implement right now. Let's get into it. The biggest LTV lever you have is getting someone from purchase 1 to purchase 2. And that's not an opinion. If you look at the data, the probability on average of a first-time buyer to make that second purchase is around 25 to 30%. But once they buy a second time, the probability to buy that third time increases to around 50% or even higher. So the hardest part here is getting that second purchase. After that, the flywheel starts turning on its own. And this is exactly where email comes in, because unlike ads where you're fighting for attention in a noisy feed, email gives you a direct line to someone who already trusts you enough to give you money. The problem is that most brands waste this opportunity. They send a thank you email, maybe a review request, and then nothing until the next sale. Meanwhile, the customer forgets about them, buys from a competitor, and just move on. So the first thing you need to do is build a powerful post-purchase sequence that drives that second purchase specifically. And the way you do that is through a combination of product education, timed cross-sells, and strategic replenishment reminders. And by the way, I already covered how to set a powerful post-purchase sequence in my previous video, so feel free to check that out. It's gonna be in the description box below. But essentially, to go over this real quick here, kind of a powerful structure you can utilize on your post-purchase flow is email number 1, a thank you for your purchase, plus send people to your social channels. Email number 2, that's where you have an immediate upsell that's actually relevant with a great offer if you can. That one increases LTV quite drastically for a lot of brands. And then that's for the place order trigger. So that's the first mini thank you flow. Second part of this flow, which is going to be triggered with the order fulfill or delivered. It really depends on your brand. Email number 1 here, or technically the email number 3 of the entire post-purchase sequence, is where you show success stories and what makes your products better than the others in the market, buyer's remorse. Next email is where you provide product education for maximal enjoyment or for product care as well. This is going to help your customers get the best possible results with your product, which equals less returns and happy customers, right? Next email, that's where you have another cross-sell or upsell with relevant products as well. Next email is a last chance for the upsell cross-sell offer if you offer something here on offer as well. Next email, that's where you collect reviews and UGC. And by the way, this is not set in stone. Again, every brand is different, so feel free to just plan and just essentially utilize this overall structure and then adjust it based on your brand, products, industry, etc., right? Next email is you can send people to other channels like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook groups, etc. That way, when they churn via email, which is eventually going to happen, you see present through other channels, right? And then another email is you can introduce a referral program, affiliate program, loyalty program, whatever you want. And then next one, you can collect qualitative data, for example, a post-purchase survey for better marketing decisions and product development as well. Now, getting someone to buy again is one thing, but the speed at which they come back and how much they spend when they do is heavily influenced by how relevant your emails feel. And relevance comes from data. Enter zero-party data. Zero-party data is information that your customers willingly share with you. Things like goals, preferences, skin type, dietary needs, whatever applies to your product. And here's why it's so powerful for LTV maximization. When you collect this data upfront, typically through a pop-up or post-purchase survey, you can personalize everything that comes after it. For example, your welcome flow can recommend products based on what they told you. Your post-purchase emails can speak directly to their needs. You can segment your campaigns based on preference, for example, instead of blasting everyone with the same message. But again, this really depends on the complexity of your solutions, of your products, and your brand as well. Now, let me give you a real example here. Say you're a skincare brand and then you ask your prospects in the pop-up the following question. What's your biggest skin concern? With options like acne, aging, and dryness. Now, instead of sending a generic welcome series, the person who selected acne gets emails about your acne lines, for instance, testimonials from people with acne, and product recommendations tailored to their concern. So the takeaway here is very simple. The more relevant your emails are, the faster people buy again, and the more they spend. And zero-party data is how you make them relevant at scale. Now, let me show you how to collect it through a Klaviyo pop-up and how to do exactly how to set it up, okay? So we are in Klaviyo here. This is a demo account here. I'm gonna find a template with some options that I can just reuse there. Seems like this one works. So I'm gonna just call it zero-party data demo here. Create form. Let it load. All right, cool. So let's say this is a skincare brand and I'm gonna ask what's their biggest, as I mentioned before, skin concern. So we're gonna have like 3 options. We're gonna have acne, we're gonna have dryness, and then we're gonna have aging as well, right? Typically with pop-ups, when it comes to zero-party data collection, you can ask the question first and then ask for their email afterwards, or you can do it the other way around. It really depends. A/B test it, see which one has a better sign-up rate overall, okay? In this case, I'm gonna just ask the first question first and then ask for their email address, right? But I'm gonna do the data collection only. I'm not gonna do the rest of the flow, of the pop-up, sorry. First, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get rid of this teaser right here, and then I'm gonna say, you've got 10% off. Of course, this is gonna be very generic copy, so just for the sake of this right here. To unlock it, what's your biggest skin concern? We're just gonna center these right here, make it a little bit bigger, like so, right? Cool. Let me get rid of this. I'm not gonna collect. Actually, this goes here. The preferences they go first. This section right here, my bad. So I'm gonna just copy here. This, space it here. Got 10% off, blah, blah, blah. And actually for this pop right here, we are not gonna use radio buttons like this example right here, right? The reason why is because if we use radio buttons, we will need to have another extra button, an actual button for them to go the next step, right? And we don't want that. This doesn't make any sense from a customer experience. So what we're gonna have instead here in Klaviyo is we're going to use buttons for this. So button, you select a button, actions in the form, and then source doesn't really matter. And here, very important, add a property. So we're gonna call this property right here skin concern, like so. It's not created yet, obviously. This is a demo account, but you have to create it. And then value, let's do acne first. So acne, right? Simple as that. Let me create another button. And again, I'm not like, of course, changing the color or anything. It's just an example here, right? Same thing, submit form, show next step, skin concern, aging, in this case right here, aging, right? And then next step, add a block here, another button. And then this is going to be submit form. This is going to be dryness, all right? Whatever, like so. And then that is pretty much it. When someone selects whatever here, they get taken to the next step, which is going to be the email connection, right? And then at this point, you collect both preferences and then their email as well. Again, A/B test it, see if asking the email first is actually better. Now, this next pillar, in order to increase LTV through email marketing, applies specifically to brands selling replenishable products. supplements, skincare, coffee, pet food, anything customers need to restock. So if you're in this category of replenishable products and then you don't have a replenishment flow in place, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. Because here's what happens with that one. A customer buys your product, uses it for 30, 60 days, whatever, run out, and then nothing. Maybe they remember to reorder, and maybe they don't. Maybe they see a competitor's ad and then decide to try something else. A replenishment flow solves this by reminding them to reorder before they run out. So it's proactive instead of reactive. And it works extremely well because the timing is based on actual usage and not guesswork. And the key here is getting the timing right. So if your product, for example, lasts around 30 days on average, you want to start nudging at around day 25. Early enough they can reorder before they run out, but not so early that it feels irrelevant. And here you're not saying, hey, buy again, whatever. You're combining urgency with convenience as well. So for example, dynamic product blocks showing them exactly what they purchased last time, one-click reorder options, and if you have a subscription model, this is just the perfect place to push it. So let me show you exactly how to build this within Klaviyo. I'm not gonna show you like every single email. I'm just gonna show you the structure. So here we go to flows here and then click on build your own. You can call it whatever, replenishment demo, create flow, let it create. The trigger here is obviously going to be place order, right? So place order. Well, you should have a place order. Let me just pop up another account which is connected to Shopify. That way I can show you exactly how that looks like. Okay, so here we are in the flow section. I'm gonna show you what. So you click on build your own. Let me just call it replenishment demo. Create manually. Then here as a trigger, place order. Allow re-entry, like yes, typically yes. But you could have, for example, someone who purchased a couple of times, 3 times, etc. You can have different conditional splits based on that, right? But in this case, allow re-entry, confirm and save. And then here, let's say you have a skincare, you have a supplement, a creatine tab that lasts around 30 days. So it's very simple. At day 25, here you could have a replenishment reminder, just to asking them to essentially, let me show you some examples of replenishment reminders here. So you could have something like this. This is an example here, a skincare brand. So need to restock. Hey, Nicholas, we thought it'd be time to restock your Noto. We wanted to make it easy to maintain your Noto glow. And then a dynamic product block here with the product I purchased. And the shop now button here to restock the same product. Simple as that. Quick heads up if you're watching this and thinking, I know I need to build all this, but I just don't have the time. That's exactly why we exist. We've implemented these strategies for hundreds of e-commerce brands and helped them generate millions in revenue. So if you want us to handle your entire email and SMS program so you can focus on running your business, book a call using the link below and let's see if we're a good fit. Okay, so now let's talk about the pillar number 4. You see, most people think of campaigns as the thing you send to announce a sale or a product launch. And sure, that's part of it. But when it comes to LTV, your campaign calendar is actually one of the most underrated tools you have, because campaigns are what keep your brand top of mind between purchases. Think about it. If someone buys from you in January and you don't email them anything meaningful until March, that's 2 months where a competitor can steal them. 2 months where the customer actually forgot why they bought from you in the first place. But if you're showing up in their inbox 3 or 4 times a week with content that's actually relevant and valuable, then you stay on the radar. And when they're ready to buy again, you're just the first brand they think of. Now, the biggest mistake I see here all the time is brands going very heavy on promotions. If every email is a discount or a sale, 2 things happen. 1, your audience gets trained to buy from you only when there's a sale. And 2, you kill your margins. So the fix here is a balanced email calendar. A mix of content types that keeps your audience engaged without burning them out or conditioning them to wait for discounts. And here's how I think about the mix. So first, educational content here. Teach your customers something useful related to your product or your brand as a whole. If you sell skincare, talk about routines. Ingredients, common mistakes. This positions your brand as an authority and gives people reasons to open your emails beyond just promotions. Now, the other one is social proof. Customer stories, reviews, UGC, before and afters. This reinforces trust and reminds existing customers that other people love your products too, which is extremely important. Now, the next one is product highlights. Spotlight specific products, bundles, or new arrivals. Not as a hard sell per se, but as a "did you know we have this" type moment. A lot of customers don't know your full catalog. Next is promotional. Sales, limited time offers, and flash deals. They absolutely have a place, just not in every single email. And then sprinkling some plain text from the founder annuals as well in there. These feel personal, they get great deliverability, and they break up the visual fatigue of design emails. When you get this balance right, you're not just staying top of mind, you're actively moving customers closer to the next purchase with every email you send. Now, final pillar here, let's talk about winback flows. And this last one right here is something like pretty much every single brand can do better. No matter how good your post-purchase sequence is, no matter how dialed in your campaigns are, some customers are going to churn. That's how it is. But churn doesn't have to be permanent. And a well-built winback flow can recover a meaningful percentage of those lost customers. The issue is that most customer winback flows are lazy. They send one email that says, "We miss you," that's it, with a discount code, and call it a day. No thought, no strategy, no understanding of why the customer left in the first place. So a great winback flow does three things. First, it reestablishes the connection with the prospect or customer with a soft check-in, not a hard sell. Just putting your brand back on the radar and showing you notice they've been gone. Second, it gives them a reason to come back. That could be a new product they haven't seen, a compelling offer, or strong social proof showing what they're missing. Third, it creates urgency. If the offer is available forever, there's no reason to act now. And so a deadline forces that decision, right? And here's the part most people overlook. You should treat your winback flow differently depending on how valuable the customer was. A customer who bought once 6 months ago needs a very different approach than a VIP who used to buy every month and then suddenly stopped. Try to segment by lifetime value and then tailor accordingly. Your VIPs deserve more aggressive offers and more personal outreach as well. One-time buyers might just need a reminder that you just exist. And those are 5 ways email marketing directly increases your customer lifetime value. To recap, get that second purchase as soon as you can with a strong post-purchase flow. Make every email or as many emails as relevant as possible with zero-party data. Automate reorders with a strong replenishment reminder flow. Stay top of mind with a balanced email campaign calendar, and win back churned customers before they're gone for good. Every one of these compounds over time. The more you improve each piece, the more valuable every customer becomes. Now, if you want to go deeper on one specific part of this, I would start with your post-purchase flow, because that's where most of the brands have the biggest gap. I made a full video breaking down the exact post-purchase structure we use, email by email. Watch you next, and I'll see you there.